Hello. Welcome to my stream today. Why I'm big. Hey Reg. Hey Flood, the Hello Leith, and the Hello Kinetic Cosme. As you can see in the background, today we're going back to Frontline 1. There it is. We. B equals ye. Give me just one moment while I am still sending out some links to places. Hey Leith. Now that song's stuck in mine. I should maybe actually at least unmute the thing. That would make sense. Ta-da! It now has sound. What a revolutionary concept. Do-do-do. Alright, and a one. I tab over to Twitter and immediately see some UMP45 art. Now, for the people that have not played GFL 1, fair, it's not for everyone. I should probably... Let me just move myself over here. I believe this might actually be better. Welcome. To Girls Frontline 1. Where a few of these characters... Oh, hey, look, that scrolls up. A few of these people have probably not made it into GFL 2. I really hope Carmel makes it over. I really hope that Car 98 makes it over. She's fucking gorgeous. I disagree. Wait. How are you guys doing today? Now. Yeah, you can definitely tell that I am an enjoyer of certain kinds of dolls. For one, I absolutely adore 4-4. The squad is great. But I'm not wrong. I am tired though. Also, look, it's Dushevnaya. Except, for one, in a Michael Jackson-inspired costume. But yeah, we got another... Hey, that's good. That's good. Wait, this is what Dushevnaya looked like in GFL 1. Specifically this. Significantly less dorky. I want a lot of these dolls back in GFL 2, especially IWS. IWS is so fucking cool. I also know that many people don't really think much of her though. Shame. We got a P7 back, so that's nice. Trench warfare terrain vids, but I'm on. I haven't seen much of that. I have mail. It's probably just the daily gift of thanks. Yes, and maintenance reward. Weehee. So, today we have returned to GFL 1 to continue the mirror stage story, which is the very last bit of story of this game that is currently available that I have not played. And then next week there's gonna be another part that releases, because we're gonna get the 0.00000 something. 0 point is wrong, is it? So what I'm getting here is the GFL 2 should really be called the BDFL because all the girls are dogs now. Not all of them. A lot of them though. Although some of them are fucking gorgeous in GFL 2. Like, have you seen Vector? Her design is so good. Like, hang on. No, it's alright. Seen Vector shit, searching far. But have you seen her? Her design's really sick. I can't wait until we get her in the end. The code is on fire. Mildly. Wouldn't be the first doll in GFL to have a code on fire and not actually worry about it at all. So, Chapter 01, The Real. Okay, we have cleared that. Shoulders of a Griffin, we have cleared that. I want to have seen that. Wait, that me on myself with a Google search earlier? What? Why? What? Fun fact. I own a Chris Vector airsoft. It's a GBB. And it's the old one. If you look for that one to get it, to buy it, it's not cheap. It's like the exact opposite of cheap. There's some like single notes here, I believe. Survival guide. I'm now organizing data pertaining to simulated Griffin vs. Paradise battles. These data do not concern the AR team, Squad 44, or Task Force Defy, but only the scenario clear records of ordinary Griffin T-Dolls. The first group to clear the scenario was Desert Eagle Squad, which made contact with the Fate Somas. Their experience with skirmishes and assaults allowed them to quickly make decisions when faced with the threat of enemy hacking and adjust their combat approach accordingly. The second squad was Squad FN. Testing has revealed that Squad FN's ability to respond to sudden developments far exceeds that of other doll squads, which is probably due to how they are often called on to handle unusual situations and circumstances. So you can effect in Soccer 2 and go to United Ammo weight, so you Google the real weight of the bullet and it's rounded down. What's this cute creature? This is FNFAL. The right arm of the free world. The SLR, the 7.62x51 battle rifle made by FN Herstal, and a ferret. Backpack. Cat snake, yes. In addition, the social dynamics with the group is worth looking into. By the way, she has multiple references to places and things that are related to her, like the kukri over here. Relating to a certain troop of soldiers that used the FNFAL. The third squad is Squad Thompson. I finally played enough of the M14 EBR and Tarkov to understand this caliber. I will actually say something, and this is something that is heresy for some people, right? And even though this is the truth, right? The M14 EBR is the only version of that rifle that is actually worth a damn. The default M14 is shit. Tommy with the drums. Tommy with the drums. I have another very controversial opinion. I have a very controversial opinion. The Thompson, while cool, is a really shitty submachine gun. that literally works on a principle that doesn't exist. The designer of the gun was just lucky that it actually still worked anyway. They have similar strength to Desert Eagle squads, and they were only 17 seconds behind the squad in second place. I believe the reason for the outstanding performance, despite their draw's somewhat more inferior specs across the board, is because Thompson's effective leadership and the squad's members' ability to promptly carry out orders. That just makes the gun really fucking funny. It does. What's the set principle? The Blishlock principle. The designer of the gun believed that the Blish principle actually existed, which is a principle that there is increased friction between differing metals. So they used a piece of brass that slides against the bolt. I believe as it's fired to delay the opening of the bolt. However, while it did work, it didn't work because of the Blishlock principle. It instead worked because the added block of steel that was supposed to rub against the brass part was heavy enough to delay it anyway. It's a direct blowback submachine gun. No hellfire, bad. Also, hang on. Would you look at that? It's fucking crazy! In fourth place is Squad Negev. Their combat approach is savage yet skillful, and they are adept at rapidly cutting down more fragile units as well as surrounding and wearing down more resilient ones. These tactics are suited for situations where they are evenly matched with the enemy, but they lack adaptability if the enemy is much stronger than them. Records of them quickly destroying enemy units during the battle at the submarine base corroborate these observations. To date, the only squad which has yet to clear the scenario squad puzzle. There are many problems with the squad, and I will list the more severe ones. Temporary squad leader VHS and temporary squad member GS-SZ8 have a bizarre relationship. At the same time, they have a vastly different fighting styles, and their differences in perspectives lead to a lot of unnecessary conflict. The squad member Para is the squad's mood maker and morale booster. However, her parts believe that she is human makes her needlessly protective over her one and only life when she fights alone. In addition, her neurocloud runs the risk of breaking down when her body takes damage, which is something that we need to look out for. General Leo is excellent overall, but she's extremely poor at adapting to changing battle situations. During the past 7 simulated battles, she ended up blue screening twice on the battlefield. However, M200's resourcefulness makes up for that. This is the only mutually supportive pairing I have seen in the squad. In conclusion, the squad puzzle is not suited for fighting as a team. End of record compilation. Hellfire, no. Had to put the flour. I mean, if you make baked pastries for me, that would be nice, but do not try to attempt to cook me again. I do not appreciate this. I am not food. The way of what is to come. I'm organizing the data related to the Paradise Special Drill program. In order to avoid arguments about mistakes and who's better than who, I'll only be discussing the enemy data. Most Paradise units have force fields, which means we'll need Hawk support to fight. No. No. No eating the wolf. No. No. Illegal. Oh. I mean, the banter is funny, but I'm still not food. Very simple. Not food. The first problem we'll need to address is when to request fire support and how to protect our supporters. So we need to work with the Hawks, huh? Leave it to me. I'll go talk to G3 about how to solve the problem. This is a double turner. They typically patrol alone, but they possess rapid-fire area-for-fake weapons. Of note are the grenades, which cannot be avoided and cause great damage to us. We need the Hawks to bring down the force fields and then focus fire to kill them. We also need to consider how to minimize the damage we take when we fight them for real. You're telling me something this divinely beautiful is actually our enemy? What a shame. Indeed, its white exterior is almost mesmerizing. Aesthetically appealing enemies with an air of sanctity to them, and vicious-looking things that we need to protect. I wonder how many more such paradoxes we'll encounter in the future. Accident, I am not food. The second threat we may encounter is the Ulan. Hey, look! It's a sci-fi tank. And while it has a bunch of things that I would probably fix, it's not a bad design. They're somewhat slow, but not even force fields can block the damage from the ram attacks, so we need to be on the lookout for especially the warning signs of an incoming ram. However, if we can set up the realistic decoys to draw their fire, we can focus solely on destroying them. Of course, that's assuming they don't show up with other enemies. So they're slow, but hit really hard. I'll pay attention to the starter motion for the rams. It looks way bigger than us. We sure have a work cut out for us. Rodelleros and Strelets are enemies we commonly encounter during rescue missions. They're easy to defeat compared to the Ulans and Doppelzertners. However, they often come up in packs, which gives them the advantage in numbers. Enemy groups that consist of different kinds of units can cover each other's weaknesses, and are thus harder to defeat. I heard that Thompson and his squad managed to plow through a mixed group on the first go. The team pilot also had a relatively easy time with them. How amazing. Yes, they are. That's Dolph here. I'm sure we'll be fine too. No. Bad. No. Do not get my ears dirty. Bad. I need them to hear. Yep. In addition to the regular forces, Paradise also has these elite units. God damn it. Fluffy here. Black Knightos. White Knightos. Imogen. And Mercuros. They just look like weirdly dressed little girls. Yeah, who would have thought that they're actually the enemy elites? Can we capture them like as F-forces? I kind of want to work with them. Unfortunately, we haven't found a way to capture Paradeus units yet, but who knows? The child's dream might come true someday. Antonio, continue with your presentation. Okay. These enemies very often possess disruptive and damaging abilities. They are very fast and very evasive, and most of them have extremely powerful hacking attacks. Yes, I'll do it. Bullshit thing. Sit up, you done from. I was actually sitting up straight, but the stretching is good sometimes. Especially after, like, a rough work day where, yeah, my back is very much all cramped up. In contrast to the aforementioned enemies, I believe these are the most threatening to us. Once we are hacked, we lose the ability to control our bodies. Do you have any further questions about the enemies we're going to face? Do you ever stretch too hard that you lock up? No, I'm not aware of that, new. no. Not at all. Just then the silver hat door runs in. Sorry for being late. How far through the pre-battle lecture are we? It's already over. Everyone get up and move out. Don't experience it fucking hurts. Oh. I think we've now done all of the story that is back here. Yes. Eh? Oh, I accidentally... What? How do I click on chapter 2? What? I have experienced other painful things, but new, not that. So, yeah. This is just in. A sudden power outage has occurred on the outskirts of Berlin, in an area that spans almost the entirety of the Green Zone. Over 400,000 people are affected by the blackout as it halts operations of business and medical facilities. We will now hand over to Shadowless, who is reporting on site. Thank you. From this relatively elevated position, we can see that this entire area has gone dark. Many residents affected by the power cut have left their homes and gone out into the streets. Hold on. I'm not there. The conflict seems to have broken out in the neighborhood. There's a lot of clamor, but we can't see much due to the poor visibility. I will try to get down there for a closer look. What? It's too dangerous down there. The main station advises against approaching. Dangerous. Alright, then we'll just have to rely on the latest information provided by the police. Yeah, okay, While I am in Germany, I'm nowhere near Berlin. Oh, wow. Lurking. Which is good, because fuck Berlin. Yeah. Enjoy? Question mark? I don't mind Berlin to visit. I would not want to live there. What's the problem with it? Because we do live in Berlin. Lurking. On the outskirts of Berlin, near Bohnsdorf. The AR team and Dandelion are carefully scanning all nearby signal and missions. There are tons of Paradise forces hidden in this village of Bohnsdorf. What are they doing in a refugee settlement anyway? Who knows? I throw a worried glance at the AR team. If there are Paradise forces around, you'll be spotted the moment you go in, right? Yes. There are many detector units in Bohnsdorf. Looks like I'm the only one who could slip inside. Come on, that's too risky. Yeah, at least take me with you. Relax. I'm suggesting this only because I'm confident I can pull it off. I pick up a pair of binoculars and resume my observations on the refugees walking freely through Bohnsdorf. Inside Bohnsdorf. After disguising myself as a refugee, I successfully bluff my way past the checks and enter the village. Thank you for all the help you've given me. Come to think of it, I still don't know your name. No problem. We should all be helping newcomers. Imelda, what's your name? I'm Robin. Robin? Okay, I'll remember that. Then let me show you around the village. Alright. I lightly tap my micro-communicator and send the AR team the code that indicates I'm safe. After that, this eager young girl drags me into this mysterious village. The next morning, I lean against the window and watch the scenery outside while checking in with the AR team. Commander, we haven't found any suspicious targets yet. That's fine. After all, it's been less than 24 hours since I arrived. We'll continue searching. Oh yes, Bohnsdorf is going to hold an open day tomorrow. Dandelion has already hacked the system to give herself a fake identity and invitation. That way we'll be able to support you from two sides at once. Copy that. I believe tomorrow is also Bohnsdorf's founding anniversary. A series of rapid footsteps comes from the staircase and I immediately hang up. I just knew you'd be spacing out here again, Robin. Let's go eat. As I laugh innocently as she dresses me by the alias I'm using for this mission. Sure. Thanks for helping me out. Things would be a lot harder to get used to if it went for you. You just arrived here, so it's normal. This is the secret. But all the Frau Elia looks really strict. She's actually a really nice person. She's got everything here planned out nice and proper. Well, the important thing is that I get to stuff my face all day without doing any work. Well, you can try applying for some work to do once you're done with your food. They've built a lot of houses recently and taken in a new batch of refugees. Sounds great. I'll be able to learn more about the village. The lunch bell rings and the refugees form in orderly lines as they wait for their lunch. The woman known as Frau Elia stands at the serving window and holds a thick stack of booklets, dispensing a stern yet gentle admonition to everyone in the queue. We thank the Lord for the food he gives us. We thank the Lord for giving us homes. Praise be to God. All who believe in the Lord shall receive happiness and peace. All who defy him shall suffer disaster and judgment. We survive by the labor of our hands and the body given to us by the Lord. All who believe in false gods shall be punished by the Lord. Elia points to several refugees kneeling off to one side. The other refugees passing by lower their heads and pretend they can't see them, as though they're trying to prove their devotion. Oh, she's Catholic? Yeah. I can't suppress my curiosity and quietly ask Elsa about them. What does believing in false gods mean? It means doing certain things forbidden by God, such as bringing electronic devices with them, planting electronic devices in themselves, indulging in entertainment. I study the kneeling refugees discreetly. Their faces are deathly pale. The one thing they all have in common is that they look gaunt, emaciated, and clearly malnourished. Some of them even show signs of elit infection. God grants us peace. Paradeus is God. Yike. Yike. Today's prayer is over. Please collect your food in an orderly manner. You few will return to the confinement room to continue reflecting on your sins. The kneeling refugees thank her profusely before rising in gratitude to leave the dining area. One of them is missing a leg, and judging by the exposed wounds that I can see, his prosthetic leg was forcibly removed. Ooh. Oh. Ah. You see, even in the future, prosthetics are not just a piece of metal or something attached to your leg. They are actual, full-on mechanical limbs. Technology. They don't like that here, so they just fucking ripped it out? What the fuck? He tries to stand up several times, but to no avail. The passing refugees continue to ignore him and do not acknowledge his presence at all. Isn't anyone going to help him? No, don't do that! What do you mean? The friends of the sinner share in his guilt. If you help him, you'll also be regarded as a traitor. Elsa's little hand tugs on mine, and all I can do is watch as that refugee crawls like a worm under the cold gazes of the surrounding people, writhing his way back to the confinement room without a single shred of dignity. Robin, you're next! It's finally my turn. However, the first thing that's shoved into my hands turns out to be a booklet. Robin, you're new to the village, so these are the village rules, which you must obey. Right. Seeing that Frau Elia has no intention of letting me go, I have no choice but to hastily flip through the pages. The contents aren't too complicated. Naturally, there are stories and legends about Paradeus, and very strict rules and regulations to follow, but there's hardly any information about the leader and the origins of the religion. You can read this book every day, and I'm sure you will gain something different from it each time. So, do you have any questions after your first read-through? I do have a question for you. Why are we forbidden to use any kind of electronic devices, even those needed to ensure basic survival? Are you doubting our Lord? Elia had been all smarts just a moment ago, but her expression is now grim and terrifying. I'm sorry, I wasn't... Don't be mad, Elia. Robin just doesn't know about how things work around here. I'll explain everything later. Actually, Rowan wants to help out and was even hoping you could assign some work. Is that so? Elia's face softens a little. Diligence is a virtue. Once you have finished eating, come over to help me take care of the new arrivals. Yes, I will. Thank you, Frau Elia. I breathe a sigh of relief, then pick up a sandwich stuffed full of vegetables and the drink before heading to the dining area with Elsa. Hey, creature. How are you doing? Can't use any electronics here. Frau Elia is super scary when it comes to this. But that man can't even walk without a cybernetic leg. Well, he just has to bear with it and get used to it. Electronic devices poison our bodies. I'm eepy. Yeah, same, honestly. Been a long day. Including the fact that... Right, so. I have asthma. Right? Always had it, not a big deal. I know how to deal with it, it's fine. But for like 1.5 to 2 years, there's been a new thing where once every quarter of the year you have to go, like, you get a free checkup, essentially. You can go to the doctor, get a test for your lung volume and everything. They see if it's getting better, if it's getting worse, if it stays the same, whatever. So I had my appointment today. And I went there. And for one, I had to wait half an hour to even get my turn. Despite the fact that I had an appointment. When I get there, they told me that, oh no, you were supposed to come in yesterday, despite the fact that I very much have a written note telling me that it's today, at that appointed time. So that I get it done. And I was like, okay, well, we're gonna assign you the next appointment. I was like, okay. Could 8 AM work? No, at that point I'm working. Okay. How about, like, 12? No, I'm working. Okay, when would you be available? 4 PM. Oh, that's a problem. The last person doing it quit, and the new person only works until 4. Well, fuck me, I guess. And then the fucking person had the gall to just be like, oh, you could just take a day of vacation to go to the appointment. Yeah, sure. I'm gonna waste 1 day of my vacation to go to the doctor, get a thing done that takes 10 minutes, and go back home. No, I won't do that. Fuck you. Holy shit. I swear, sometimes people do not understand what they're telling you to do. It's like, I only get 27 days of vacation. I'm not going to use 4 of them a year. How about the person that does the check takes a vacation day to have time at 4? Yeah. Like, previously it was really nice because the last person actually, like, worked until 16:30. So I could just come in right after work and it'd be done. Just, like, get in, 10 minutes, get out, drive home. It's all good. Perfect. Now, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore, so fuck me, I guess. Anyway. Yeah. And all that just to know that, hey, my lung still works at, like, 80-something% of its normal volume. Or the volume that it's supposed to have. Because, hey, asthma's great. Cannot recommend asthma. It's not nice. Do you see all those people with ear infection? It's because they were in contact with too many electronic devices, and they had come here to survive. Ah, yes. If Paradise hadn't saved us, then we wouldn't be living such good lives. Luckily, I only had those checks while I wasn't still in school. Luckily, your lungs work basically normally now. That's very lucky. I just have chronic asthma, so yeah. Is that what the villagers taught you? Yep, Paradise brought us together and gave us food and a place to live. Naturally, we need to repay that with fervent exaltation. How you ever need, Robin? Afterwards, I'll go with you to do some work. Alright. They're actually fucking brainwashing these people. When the brief lunch period is over, I go to the village checkpoint with Elsa. The checkpoint is outside the village entrance, and it is already buzzing with activity by the time we arrive. Some people are in charge of registration, and some are in charge of inspection. The sheer number of refugees who need to be checked, and the ban on comms equipment results in extremely low work efficiency. I've checked all these people. Looks like the mission objective might not be in this village. Might have to consider leaving. We're doing the weird cold shit the entire time. I mean, yes. But they weren't brainwashing people. They were just, you know, turning them into mindless robot machines of doom. Like, they were just essentially killing them with radiation. And then implanting a fire control core and putting them into war machines. Much better. Well, to be fair, if you were a woman at a certain height with certain features, you would just be experimented on and turned into a clone of a person that is long dead. They weren't brainwashing people, just brainwashing them. No, they weren't brainwashing people, just killing them and modifying them to fit into war machines. Slight difference, arguably worse. Quit spacing out, Robin. All these people need our help. Oh, alright. I take the supply packs and hand them to the refugees who are awaiting inspection. Many refugees are in the waiting queue, afflicted with Elid symptoms, but Elsa shows no fear of physical contact at all. Hello, please accept the bone stuff supplies. Elsa, come over here. What is it, Robin? You do know Elid is contagious, right? Sure do, but I'm not scared. I guess it's because of the faithful of Pereus are immune to disease. Ha! No, silly. It's because we have the protection of the saints. Even if we have Elids, she can cure us right away. Saints? Is that a Paradise legend or something? She's a real person. You wouldn't know because you knew. In the past, Bonestaff had Elid patients too, but they were all cured thanks to the saint's purification. Can a saint really cure Elids? Of course she can. You'd see when she arrives. And when will that be? Maybe in a week? Maybe in a couple of days? As long as there are sick people, she'll show up. But whether you can meet her is up to fate. This shit is reversible. Yeah. If you can't find the mission objective, investigating the Saint might still be worth it. I'm just about to ask Elsa more about the Saint when Ilya quietly walks up behind me. Elsa, Robin, enough chatter. There are many people here who still need places. Also, our founding anniversary is tomorrow, and we're counting on you to help with the festival arrangements, so please put some effort into it. Ah, she called us slacking. Of course. One task follows another, without even a pause for breath. Elsa and I work until nightfall before we return to our homes to rest. Tomorrow is September 20th, 2064, the anniversary celebration of the founding of Bornsdorf, and the end of my infiltration. I wonder how the others are doing as I slowly drift off into sleep. Now, we have actually done all of these story bits that follow this. As you can see, there's a timeline at the bottom here that shows you like the time of day. We have done all of these things that already go past it, so we know what happens next. For the people that have not seen it, a quick summary. We go to this festival, we meet the saints, they actually do heal a patient of Elid. They turn out to not be... Like, this entire village seems to be a ploy to get people to interact with this saint to make money. We break them out. Not entirely up to their will, but they do seem to agree in the end that, hey, getting the fuck out of there is probably the best choice. And the entire village is hunting us. And this time right up here, that, my friends, is Angelia's storyline. And she has just met with the Griffin. For now, though, we get a news report from Shadowless. Welcome to the Actual Camera. This is Shadowless, and I will be taking you through the latest news today. Also, Paradise Force popped out of the alleyways. Galatea Technology Corporation has set up a temporary medical station in the Green Zone today to provide emergency medical supply services for local residents. Among the medical staff is the renowned Surgeon Grey. Due to the previous widespread power outage in the Green Zone, a queue formed by residents who need urgent medical care is already over a kilometre long. The Berlin police has dispatched more personnel to maintain order at the site. Yesterday, a certain overseas doll manufacturer was accused of low production quality as multiple customers have died from injuries caused by the dolls. The manufacturer claims that the majority of these accidents were caused by customers overworking their dolls. Recently, crimes perpetrated by dolls have been on the rise, and sociologists express concern over this trend. Alleged members of a religious organization have congregated outside the Ministry of Environment to protest the exploitation of natural resources and encroachment of civilian space. Law enforcement has already arrived at the scene to maintain order. The dispute thus far has not escalated. The protesters have been distributing promotional goods to unrelated passerbys, causing temporary disorder. Earlier today, the police received a report regarding an alleged case of abduction in Bonesdorf, but investigations have not uncovered any missing persons. Bonesdorf is a newly constructed model village. Village Chief Elia states that the village is doing well. Today is the foundation day of Bonesdorf, and professionals from different sectors are visiting to celebrate the achievements of the village. Regarding the alleged abduction, Elia offers full cooperation to the law enforcement and pledges to protect the villagers' lives and properties. That concludes today's news. This is the Aktuelle Kamera, brought to you by the DRF. And I believe that there's one finishing off, yes. There's one more news report at the finishing part of this chapter. Breaking news! In the afternoon, the commotion in the streets has escalated to violence. There are physical confrontations between local residents and the police as the chaos continues to spread. International humanitarian organizations urge the government to listen to the people and avoid intensifying the conflict. We'll now hand over to Shadowless, who is reporting on site. Right, as you can see, we are currently standing within the police security area, just several meters away from where the confrontation first started. We can hear the crowd chanting their slogans. The police states that they may mobilize water cannons to disperse the crowd. According to the authorities, power has been restored in certain areas, while repairs are still underway. I will follow up if there's any new developments. Back to the station. And that's chapter 1. I know that it says that it's 21 out of 22, but that's just because there's the farming map if you really want some certain resources. It's really just to get certain dogs that, yeah. Which I have all of these. Chapter 2. I believe that this time around, I'll actually go in order. Why is there more? Welcome to the Aktuelle Kamera. This is Shadowless. I'll be taking you through the latest news today. Commissioner Club's delegation has arrived in the Republic of North Ossetia Alania to attend the commemoration service. Wait, no, we've seen this. That's the same one as in Chapter 1. That is weird. Huh? That is the same one, right? Yeah, it is. Okay, I'm not mad. At least not more than usual. Chapter 2. The Ship of Theseus. Temporary Command Post, Berlin. AR-15 brings a chair for the commander to sit by the window. The afternoon sunlight streams in, warming the commander's back. Commander, I believe we should wake up this damn Naito and start interrogating her. Mr. Griffin already mentioned that she looks exactly like the mole planted next to Angie. For all we know, you might end up falling victim next to her this time. I know, but she's in no physical condition. She's in no physical or mental shape for that right now. Waking up by force will not help us in our questioning either. Also, let me just quickly do something. I'm noticing a thing. B. Don't be hasty, 15. We've already verified that Macklin has very low combat capability. The sub alone can handle her, let alone when we have so many dots protecting the commander. But I'll ask Angie about Morido at our meeting. Go get ready. We're moving out in 15 minutes. Eh? When are you supposed to meet at 3? It's basic etiquette to show up early for a meeting with a lady. Commander, there's an incoming transmission. Is it Angie? Hi, Commander. It's been a while. It's 45! Why this music? I hope I didn't interrupt your refined appreciation of Sleeping Beauties. Before the commander even replies, Ruiz already closed the curtains without them needing to say a word. Oh my, it looks like I've just got some intel which I can use to soak some money out of you. I wonder, how much would you pay to see my lips, Commander? He's in Germany, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. He should arrive at exactly 3, not earlier, not later. Let's be honest though, people in Germany are not. Like, if it's a business thing, we'll be punctual. If it's like a different thing, It depends entirely what it is, for Germans. Cut the crap. What are you guys doing here? We're here because of Miss Healing most generously paid our urgent booking fees in order to help the poor, isolated commander, of course. But it looks like a good commander living the good life right now. Healing did? Oh yes, Miss Healing paid the entire sum in advance. Right, 45. Didn't Miss Kalina ask us to pass a message on to the commander? Kalina, you've spoken to Kalina. How is she now? Has her condition improved? Has she been discharged yet? She's alright. At least she sounded quite energetic when she passed on a message to you. What did you want to tell me? 9, you do it. Okay. Wait a minute, I can't find my earplugs. So Miss Kalina's message is as follows. Commander! You great big dummy! I was in hospital for so long, but you didn't come to visit me even once. When I get out of hospitals, I'm going to spend all your money. And that was it. Family always wants to arrive early and then somebody ends up being unable to get the ass out of the house. Yeah, that's the same. Scheissdreck. Do they have a place that calibrates auditory modules in Berlin? What happens? Alright, I understand. Well, since the fee's been credited into our accounts, that means our contract is in effect. Commander, contact us on this frequency if you need help with anything. We'll be standing by during your time in Berlin. How many credits did Helion pay you anyway? Trade secrets. We'll be meeting Angie in 15 minutes at the Athena's Owl. Could you scout out the route and make sure there are no Paradise ambushes hiding along the way? Sure. We'll be there right away. The transmission ends. Commander, this mission ought to be much easier with Warfall's help. And it sounds like Miss Kalina's getting better. Yeah, it's a good start to things. The AR team prepares to leave for the commander, but also is waiting at the door. Do you need us for anything, Commander? I'll be leaving Macklin in your care. Dandelion will be staying by him too. Go get her if Macklin starts acting up. Understood. After sorting out Macklin, the commander changes into the plain clothes before leading the AR team out of the temporary command post. They always tell me we're leaving halfway through everyone getting ready, and then I find myself waiting out front. Yeah, same. I think most people have that experience. At least once. In Berlin's Old Town, on the way to the designated bar. Looks like we'll have to walk through all of the Old Town before we can get to the Athena's Owl's place. That's definitely a place Angie would choose. I used to joke around saying Hifashima 4, but I can't really pull that joke anymore since I actually have a license now. Yeah. Commander. Ro, who has been observing our surroundings all this time, walks up to the commander while trying to keep her face neutral. What is it? It's nothing urgent, but I was thinking, don't we stand out a little too much? The commander's leading 3 tactical dolls who have put their weapons away on a crowded street in the Old Town district. No matter how you look at it, this grouping... Relax. The Earl has arranged legal identities for us, and we're in the city, so even Paradeus can't move rashly here. It's true that there are no Paradeus balls lying in ambush, but there are a lot of people out there who are even sketchier than Paradeus, and they have their eyes on you. You've practically handed the Berlin Old Town doll... You've practically handed the Berlin Old Town doll black market a feast on legs. Sub 2's keen ears quickly sift out the important information from the clamour of the crowd. Do you see that? They're all high-end tactical bots, and they're also loaded with advanced equipment. Just selling that gear would feed us to the end of the year. If we can grab those dolls, it doesn't matter if we strip them apart for sale or just format them and sell the bodies. We'll be sitting pretty for the next few years. Commander, they're black market doll traffickers. There aren't a lot of them, but we can't make too much of a scene right now. 45, help us think of a way to shake off these people. I've already plotted a route, sending it over now. Right, bro, follow the route at top speed. The commander and the company proceed as guided by Squad 4. After following the route they've been given, the party temporarily shakes off the floods following them and blends into the hustle and bustle of the Old Town district. I'm so busy here. Looks like they'll be holding a festival or something. How come they're selling anti-Elite stuff everywhere? Does it really work? All things aside, one look at the price and you can tell they can't possibly be of use. It's just a bunch of profit-driven merchants exploiting the people's despair by slapping anti-Elite on the items they sell. But won't those merchants get beaten up if people find out? Survivor bias is a thing. After all, the only way to tell if these anti-Elite goods work is if you go into a contaminated zone yourself. And only those who come back alive will have the chance to give feedback on them. Have you lost them, 45? Come behind. 45? Do you copy? Cut them off. The transmission to 4-4 suddenly cuts off. Why do they keep cocking up when it matters? Stay alert and continue towards the bar. I don't know what's the special occasion, but the crowded streets are filled with salespeople peddling anti-Elite wares. Galatea employees all use this super effective anti-Elite medicine. We also have blessed anti-Elite talismans. Big bargains, discounts if you buy in bulk. Do have a look, ladies. These are the latest anti-Elite basketball shoes. Not only are they radiation-proof, they have collector's value too. Ro looks back and spots the thugs from earlier, still following them. Commander, they've gone up to us. We'll blend into the crowd to speed up, and we need to think of a way to ditch them. Roger. The commander and the company begin jogging through the crowd. This inadvertently causes the crowd behind them to speed up as well. It's a festival about to start. Why are those people in such a hurry? If we don't catch up, we'll miss out on the free gifts. We should get moving too. The crowd, along with their unwanted pursuers, stampedes towards the commander's party. There, they're over here. Can't make a move now, there's too many people around. Let's get close to them first. Get the bros, these are high-end dolls we're talking about. Just one of them could feed us for 3 years. Go, go, go! Commander, they're speeding up too. Should we make a move? There are too many people here. Civilians could easily get injured. Communicator suddenly rings. Raise it higher, 416. Is this even working, 45? Can you contact the commander? If not, we'll just fight our way out. Commander, it's 4-4. We got through it last. What happened to you just now? Our comms got jammed. We had to relocate several times before we could contact you. You were jammed. The jamming method was pretty special too. Reminded me of Talon. I'll go into more detail later. You all see that alley 10 meters ahead. Get in there and go all the way to the end. Got it. Commander, it's a dead end. If you keep the fight in there, the people outside won't notice. Now the AR team can really let loose. Awesome! Load rubber bullets and avoid the vitals. Prepare for combat. Time to meet them some people. Some dudes. Now, we are a little overpowered for these missions. That's, you know. You see the 3 and the 4, 5,000. Battle Mob is not keeping it in the alley. It certainly is not, no. Different place with southeast, it looks like a bar, the radar station, or like northeast, or an unknown victory condition. That's supposed to be blocked. It's fine. Oh hey, I get to spawn more units. You bring the mortar team, that'd be funny. I cannot. I don't have a heavy heliport, so unfortunately not. There's hidden nodes here. There's an exclamation mark down here that I want to step on to get some dialogue. And there's a green marker here that will probably unhide some nodes. We'll see. Also, don't worry, while I didn't bring a mortar team, I did bring a team with 3 machine guns. I don't know why, but this reminded me of a really, really old clip of World War III that I have. Where just absolutely clean house with an entire enemy squad using the MG5. Ah, man, that game used to be so fun. What are you saying? The streets are full of Paradise spies. The backup will arrive quickly even if we take them out, so we need to move carefully. I kind of want to build it. You might actually be able to load rubber units with arms, try and load into that fire weapon. Have you never seen a rubber mortar? They're very, very funky. I will admit they don't work with normal mortars. They work on water pressure instead. But they is actually airsoft mortars. It's pretty cool. And I kind of imagine it to be very funny if your Hawk just carries a second tube that is just an airsoft mortar. Just bonk him on the head with a projectile that's donk. I want to know what that child does. Unless this is one of those really old things where that actually is supposed to be radiation. Which I will admit is not impossible. This event is a while ago. Then again, the last time we had like radiation or something like that was a while ago. I also have another idea of a squad that I want to make, but I'm gonna need some very specific stuff for that. Specifically, I need a lot of damage blocks for my submachine gun. It's been a long, long time since I last had a vector-based squad, and honestly, it's just really fucking fun. What happens if I capture this glowing green part? Pop. Does anything happen? I don't think so. Wait a second. What if I bring Dandelion there? Well, the target is one with illusion, blah blah. You could use an RPG squad with Ratchon Shell call that less lethal. Aha! There's another part of the map. Command the company tear through the streets in a frenzy, desperately searching for their destination, a bar named Athena's Owl. Doomed, I'm doomed, I'm doomed, I'm doomed! Commander, Commander, over here, over here! Commander, this is the place. What kind of crappy bar is this? Why is it so damn hard to find? My pillow would be better at running a business than the boss of this place. Athena's Owl suddenly looms into the view with it in front of everyone. Finally, made it. Commander charges inside without a second thought. IDW Danya! I swear that voice. Okay, the news broadcasts have just refreshed for this chapter, so that's good. The voice, the get voice line for her is so long as well. It just keeps going. Ship of Theseus 3. Oh, hang on. Let me just quickly. Yeah. Mom, the weird cat is back. Don't need more MP5s at the moment. Ship of Theseus 3. At the entrance to the of Athena's Owl. 1 minute left. Commander will be standing by outside if there's anything. 30 seconds! The commander rushes into the bar. You made it in the nick of time, at least. What was with that signal interference? We still haven't identified the precise cause, but it was definitely very fishy. Who would have the thought that UMP-45, the EW expert, would end up being jammed? And she took so long to resolve the issue too. Actually, we didn't. We couldn't find any sign of a jammer, so we had to keep changing position to gauge the jammer's effective range. How could you not find it? In theory, jammers work by sending signals to generate interference that breaks our connections. Yes, which is why I said it was fishy. With normal jammers, we'd be able to at least sense their presence even if we couldn't disable them. But this particular jammer felt like it directly cut off connections. I couldn't feel anything. That is very dangerous. Yeah, we'll discuss it further once the commander is done in there. Right now, we need to rest. Copy that. After ending the transmission, Uro continues to puzzle over the jamming issue. Sob shakes up by the shoulder and points to the huge display board opposite the bar. The supermarket across the street turns its exterior display on at 3 PM sharp. The display, written in fancy font, reads, "Congratulations on Galatea Corporation's 100th anniversary." Bro, look. So that's why the crowd was going crazy earlier. It was all because of this. The Galatea Corporation sure is swanky. Or maybe when we get our own 100th anniversary, we can ask the commander to buy an ad signboard just like this. By then, the commander will be an old... Let's leave it till then. Okay. Ro gazes at the monitor that is currently playing Galatea Corporation publicity videos. A good-looking refugee representative is currently making a speech to convey her gratitude. Galatea Corporation has done a lot for us, not only in terms of material support, but also in spiritual comfort. Many people think that they are already bestowing a most gracious gift by giving us refugee, even though they've done little to improve our terrible living conditions. Only Galatea sees the pain of losing our homes to radiation, contamination, and offers a helping hand. What's in your mind, bro? The name of this corporation also came up in Bone Store. Both the timing and location where it showed up were surprisingly coincidental. When did we move countries? What do you mean? What? Why move countries? What? Hmm? Huh? Hmm? Certainly isn't Germany anymore with guns ammo, neon sun hanging out proudly. I mean, you got to keep in mind that this game does not have, like, unique scenes for every single background, so there's that. Ding-a-ling. The bell behind the door tinkled softly. A white-haired girl steps out, carrying a bag of cat food in her arms. 94. 15. Hello, members of the AR team. Hi. I enjoyed the commander having a good chat. It's pretty good. A94 quietly walks to the side of the road and crouches down. The cat that was sunning itself on the eaves lazily jumps down and rubs it up against A94's hands. Since you're here, that means... The doorbell tinkles again. If it isn't the AR team, it's been a while. Yes, it really has. You should go in and get a drink. The bartender is pretty good. Of all the bars Angie and I have visited, his mixing skills rank amongst the top 3. Wow. Then why did you come out? It's obviously because there's someone annoying in there. You guys came to Berlin first. How is it? Not too good. Recently Angie's been... Well, I guess you can tell. It's because of that Moroder woman. Of course. She's the cause of all of this. If it weren't for her, we wouldn't even be here. What is she like? She's a devious high-spec knight who is an expert in pretense. She can change personalities the way people change clothes. Is she good at disguising herself? Without question. Moroder is a talented con artist. Angie is as sharp as a knife, and even she was deceived. We might have captured Moroder. 15. We can't be sure of that yet. The commander's still looking into it. Oh? Then you better be careful. All the grief we've gone through recently is thanks to her. No wonder she could draw that. She could draw out that many Paradeus troops. She's also very good at changing her image to take advantage of her victim's weaknesses. I'm a bit concerned. Someone like the commander could certainly resist interrogation, but perhaps not a request for help coming from a weak and vulnerable person. While the commander is both righteous and kind, I don't think that'd easily be received. Don't worry, Angel's definitely going to give the commander lots of useful suggestions. Oh my, so many familiar faces. Are you RPK and AK-15 of the Task Force Defy? Yes, we are. And you must be Role 635, the current leader of the AR team, right? Hello, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Oh, don't mind me. Please carry on with your conversation. The moment RPK shows up, AK-12 leans against the wall and closes her eyes to rest. Silence hangs in the air. In the distance, the Galatea Corporation publicity videos are still chattering on. All this time, Galatea Corporation has focused its efforts on researching anti-elite medications, and I believe everyone will be happy with the results we have achieved. You may have heard of the new type of anti-elite medication called Idun. Our aspirations for this formulation are to make it safer, more effective, cheaper, and even more widely available. Idun has shown promising results in clinical trials so far, and it is currently under review by the government. We believe that it can be launched in the not-too-distant future, and when that happens, we cordially invite everyone to judge the effectiveness of Idun for themselves. It's always darkest before dawn, so please do not give up hope. We will surely see the first race when the sun comes up. The crowd surrounding the monitors cheer wildly. Even from a quiet distance away, the dolls gathered at the bar's re-entrance can feel the genuine outpour of joy and hope from the people. The dolls watch the jubilant crowd with curiosity. I just noticed something so aggravating about the skin. Humans are such fragile yet resilient creatures. That is such an aggravating little detail that they added to the skin to RPK. I swear to God. What a fucking bitch. I hate her so much. That right there. They're easily crushed by absolute might, but if you give them a little bit of hope, even if it's just a little, it can reignite that thirst for life. At some point, RPK has walked up next to row 635. You're right. It's better to be a doll, though. If a bodies break, we can simply get a new one. I disagree. Have you heard of the ship of Theseus? What's that? A long time ago, a human posed the question. If the planks of the ship of Theseus were constantly being changed out, until none of the planks were the original ones, then would it still be the original ship? Now apply the same question to dolls. If our parts are constantly replaced, or if we get a new body entirely, are we still the same doll that we originally were? This story... We need to keep replacing our parts to keep functioning, but human bodies don't work that way. Discounting things like accidents, humans can live a long time in their own bodies of flesh. Their bodies may be fragile, but they are heartbreakingly pure and adulterated. Your thoughts are very profound, Miss RPK. If every cellular body is replaced after so many years, are you still the same person? I get this, but this is... I understand that... Yes. Here's the thing. This entire question, coming from this specific person, is a lot more sinister than it seems. This is a machine, a doll, yearning to be a human. And unfortunately... As far as the story allows us to tell so far, she does get her wish. Just some cold spots on her. I understand, but it's so much worse. It's so much worse. I hate her so much. Keep playing, get to the juicy bits. Here's the thing. I have played parts of the story that follow this event. I've just missed out on this event. Because I was taking a break of this game for like 1.5 years, and during that time 2 events released, so I didn't play them. I played every event after that. I played every event before that. So I know what story follows this. And a very, very late stage event is releasing literally in 7 days on the... Like, the Christmas gift I'm getting from Mika Team is literally despair. Fuck. Your thoughts are very profound, Miss RPK. Sub 2 has already dozed off while leaning on Rose's shoulder. Out of politeness, Rose compelled to stay where she is. Mr. Earl, do you find my musings dry and boring? Not at all. You're drooling again, Salt. That's wonderful. There are many things I'd like to ask you, Miss Ro. RPK turns towards Ro and peers at her with fascination. I hear that you're the prototype for the 3rd generation of dolls. Miss Persica didn't place any restrictions on your base layer. Uh, that's true, but practically speaking, there's no real difference. A base layer like a blank sheet of paper. It's as close to a human soul as you can get. I suppose you could say that in a certain sense, you have a human heart, Ro. Well, I wouldn't go that far. At the end of the day, then have you ever wondered what it would feel like to be a human? After all, the only thing that keeps you from being completely human is not having a body made of flesh, right? If a doll had a soul as pure as a human's, and a body as pure as a human's, then she would practically be no different than a creator. What? The unexpected question is so unnerving that Ro takes a step back. AR-15's eyes snap open from a feigning sleep, and AK-15 and AK-12 also eye at their teammate incredulously. Ah, don't be so tense, I was just thinking out loud. Sorry, I've never thought about this question before, so I don't know how to answer it. The commander steps out of the back door. Rome, let's... Oh hey, it's Tasko Safai. I'm not interrupting anything, am I? Hello, Commander. Hello, I'm just waiting for you in there. Rome, we should head back. Okay, 15, stop, let's go. Stop, wake up, time to go. On a rooftop occupied by Squad 4 in the old town district. What the hell were they droning on about? It almost put me to sleep. 45, what's on your mind? 45's gaze once again falls on RPK, who is currently smiling and talking to Angel. I have a feeling something's about to happen. Hate her so much. Let's go on through the... By the way, I'm gonna change my approach from last time. I'm gonna do everything that happens at a certain point in time first, and I'm gonna move on from there. So, we're now doing the same time frame from Angie's point of view, which should probably be at the talk with the commander. Here must all distrust be left. All cowardice must here be dead. There is no hell on earth. Spirits are buried in the ashes, souls fade into oblivion. Life is fragile. All it takes is a single bullet, a fire, some terrible luck to be snuffed out. You can't scare me. Walking through an intrusive memory in her mind, Angie stands in the midst of an unfolding disaster. The shivering young girl can only pray helplessly as she cowers behind a blast-containment box. Angie gazes at the girl as her ears are assaulted by ear-splitting noise around them. Hey, get up. I'm telling you to get up! Amid the commotion, the girl lifts her head and meets Angie's gaze. In the bottom of her teary eyes lies a whirlpool of heavy darkness. Angie finds herself tumbling down this endless abyss. Angie sits up woozily in bed and rubs her temple to clear her head. At this point, she doesn't even bother to ask what AK-12 is doing in her room. She got used to it. Pour me some tea. Are you alright? Only then does Angie notice the grim look on AK-12's face. What do you mean? You were moaning and talking in your sleep. You seem to be having a nightmare. To be honest, it was really unlike you. It grossed me out a bit. Oh, yeah. I dreamed that I went back to Statesec. Zelensky threw me a welcoming banquet. All the dishes were duck. You hate duck? I'd rather eat dirt. Angie places her hand on the back of her neck, and as she softly cranes it this way and that, making it click. AK-12 knows better than to ask any more questions. She simply gets up and makes a cup of very strong tea, which she leaves on the bedside table. The commander got in touch. Tell them we'll be in the Alt Berlin in an hour. We'll meet at the Athena's Owl. Okay. Placing hands on her knees, Angie eyes the tea stalks floating vertically in a teacup. Do you think the Earl can't be trusted? Don't tell me you've forgotten. He is a friend of Shaw's. Don't expect me to badmouth him. I've never liked him. Our meeting has only confirmed my belief. We have nothing in common. But he is helping us. That's a fact. And he has a point where, when he says that we don't have a choice, Angie. Angie takes out the coin from her pocket again. She peers down on it and lets out a snort. It irks me to be completely at his mercy. But there really is no other way. Besides, what he's asking you to do is on your own gender to begin with. He just rubbed it in your face to rile you up. And speaking of your gender, we had a little chat with the stars he world this morning. You mean light? Yes. You don't seem to like him? Quite the contrary. And he flips the coin up and catches it on the back of her hand. He may be young, but he's level-headed, meticulous, good in a fight, and most importantly, he has impeccable manners. Jay is right. He has a great potential and a bright future ahead of him. I have a lot of admiration for him. However, AK-12 ponders for a moment and points up. However, I initially held Morido in exactly the same regard. And he lifts a hand and reveals the heads of the coin. I've never seen a male Naito. AK-12 looks a little glum. You know that's not what I mean. I'm not saying there must be something wrong with light, but after what happened in Bremen, I can't bring myself to trust anyone who popped out of nowhere. And he shrugs and pockets the coin again before picking up a cup of tea and taking a sip. But on the bright side, if he really turns out to be another spy, then Paradise has basically delivered an opening wrapped as a gift straight to you, don't you think? We'll even be for now. Back to the subject. What have you found out? Everything they all told you checks out. Shortly after we and the Stasi captured Leona, she was transported to Berlin on official notice. Once she arrived, she filed an appeal. The court ruled that she suffered serious mental and physical trauma and exempted her from serving a sentence. And that's how she got off scot-free. You're going to break your cup. Where's she now? At a sanatorium? That's right. She's at Galatea Sanatorium, enjoying the best security and treatment. God's sake. And he slams the teacup down on the table, spilling more tea than she has drunk. And RPK, as previously mentioned, all data in the Flora Institute has been wiped clean. We cannot trace them directly, but fortunately, the Bremen government has some public records of several people and organizations who have worked with the Institute in the past. We've compiled a list. We're looking for a mysterious figure who's located in Berlin, in a position of considerable power, interested in Leona's research, could be working in some relevant fields themselves, gained prominence in the last 2 years, and has an otherwise unknown past. I'm afraid there isn't much of a personal list. There's such a personal list. I knew it wouldn't be so simple. And he takes a file from AK-12, flips through a few pages half-heartedly, and puts it on the table. Let's leave that for now. We'll discuss the rest after our meeting with the commander. You're really looking forward to it. Even fish would poke its head out of water to breathe if there's no oxygen in the water. Let's go. Okay. Commander, panting heavily, flings the door open and steps onto the wooden floorboard like a high school student who barely makes it into the classroom on time. This out-of-place newcomer has instantly attracted the attention of the handful of customers and staff inside the bar. The piercing stares are making them a little uncomfortable. Excuse me. The commander enters the bar and carefully closes the door. They scratch their head and apologize for the disturbance. Just then, an even more abrupt noise comes from the back of the bar, drawing away all the hostile glass. What are you lot looking at? Swinging her legs up on the table, the ferocious-looking woman snaps at the other customers. Realizing she isn't one to be messed with, everyone averts their eyes and returns to their own business. The commander chuckles to themselves as they walk up to the woman's table, drag over the chair and sit down. Could you remove your boots from the table, please? You should learn the proper way of dealing with people like these, Commander. I simply wish to keep a low profile. Is it really okay for you to be so conspicuous? Don't you worry. Who knows how many of them are actual customers? And she snorts and lowers her voice. They proceed to eye each other wordlessly. The first to break the awkward silence is the commander. Pleased to finally meet you, Captain Soy. I'm the AR team's current commander, also in charge of Area S09 under Griffin's jurisdiction. Pleased to meet you, Commander. I am Anna Viktorovna Soy, but you can just stick to calling me Angie. Seriously, do we have to do this? Well, the ice is to be broken, right? The commander chortles. How about a drink? No thanks. I have an upcoming operation, so I shouldn't. It kind of has something funny. that this is the first time these two actually meet in person. After having multiple operations in the same fields with each other, working towards the same goal, and helping each other through comms. Also, there was that one time where Angie nuked both herself and us. But that's a different story. But still, very funny that's the kind of interaction you get when they finally meet. Like, hey, this is my official title. Thank you for nuking me once. Get them a ginger ale. Angie snaps her fingers at the waiter and makes an order. Then she lifts her legs off the table. The commander watches Angie with a smile. A little unnerved by the stare, Angie frowns. What, you don't like ginger ale? That's not it. I'm just suddenly struck by the fact that we're actually having a conversation face to face. I've never seen this side of you going through the communicator. You talk too much. Angie crosses her arms and snickers. So, you talk to Defy? Yes, I've also met RPK. We talked at the submarine base. She's working for you now. More or less. How many dolls have you brought with you? Just the AR team and 4-4, plus Dandelion, of course. The Earl has also supplied an additional squad Griffin. You've met him? Not exactly, but we did talk. How did you find him? This was the first time I've talked to the Earl ever since I joined Griffin. He strikes me as a very different man compared to Mr. Kruger, but is equally bold and driven. Why has he summoned you to Berlin? For the same reason you're here. You know what I'm doing here? I'm unaware of the specifics, but I suppose it's about Paradeus. After all, this is why you've come to Germany in the first place, and I can't exactly pretend I didn't know about your operation in Bremen. Angie grunts. She drops an ice cube into her empty glass and pours herself some whiskey. He asked you to come to Berlin so that he'll have another moron doing his bidding and risking their life for him. You seem rather antagonistic towards the Earl. The Earl and Mr. Kruger are as different as night and day. If Kruger is like you, then the Earl is more like me. We will stop at nothing to achieve our ends, but he's even more ruthless than me. I suggest that you don't trust him too blindly. I won't, Angie. Because we aren't risking our lives for anyone in particular. Everything we do is for the sake of making this world a better place. Reading these lines hurts a little, considering the fact that soon after this, we will be risking our lives for a very specific person. And fail. I sure hope so. What's the situation on your end? Any new breakthroughs? My endeavors in Bremen proved to be fruitless, and I haven't made much of a headway here in Berlin either. I did come into contact with someone from Paradeus, but she escaped. You mean the woman called Morido? Yes. Actually, I came across a person by following a lead provided by the Earl. She bears a remarkable resemblance to Morido. What? Let me finish. The resemblance is purely physical. From what we can see, it's most probably a different person. Her name is Maclean, and she's been active in Bonestov, a village nearby, before we captured her. In case you don't know, let me warn you. Morido is an expert of infiltration and disguise. She's deceived me and Ulrich and even managed to fool Defy. Right, that has been accounted for. Which is why we're still talking about Maclean under observation. Though Dandelion hasn't noticed anything odd so far. I'll notify you immediately if there's any new developments. You left her on your own. You're leaving at night or unsupervised. Dandelion and Squad Griffin are keeping an eye on her, not to mention she's still unconscious. Alright. But don't hold out too much hope. I won't. They all told me that William is planning something big in Berlin. Then he just dumped all the work onto my lap and left, saying he had more important stuff to do. I hope he didn't mean picking you up from the airport by that. I doubt that's what he meant. He never met me in person. He simply issued my orders through the comms. But what would William be up to? I don't know yet. If that's true, we don't have much time. I'm well aware of that. I'll have Dandelion look into it once we get back. we may be able to find something useful. The beta left in Bremen hasn't been entirely gobbled up yet. Whoever it is, she's given herself away, and I'll soon have a lead. Got it. If you need any help, please get in touch. I'll come at once. And just squirts the whiskey around her glass. After a brief moment of silence, she cracks an unusual smile. She stands up from her chair and walks over to the commander. What, are you going to snap my neck? The commander looks up at her in amusement and asks jokingly. And she does not answer. She simply pats the commander on the shoulder and downs a drink in one go. Then she slams the glass down next to the commander's ginger ale. That felt good. The commander blinks. They're about to say something, but then think better of it. And just been through a lot. The commander can tell immediately. Right now, in this unfamiliar country, they're pretty much the only person she can trust. With this in mind, the commander smiles and clinks down ginger ale against Angie's empty glass, then knocks back the ginger ale as well. And just done the best she could. The commander knows this. There's nothing more to be said. Unless they actually want Angie to break up the neck. We have an agreement. Yeah, I've taken up enough of your time. Then I'll be heading back. If Maclean wakes up, I'll have a lot of questions for her. Maclean or Morodo? Maclean, for the time being. Alright. After seeing off the commander, Angie shakes her head lightly and taps the comms in her ear. Enough with the chit-chat, Wolf. Get ready, we're paying Leon a visit. A melting ice cube slides down and knocks against the bottom of the glass. The bar is now empty. Angie is such a fucking badass. Man. At the same time, the city news. Welcome to Aktuelle Kamera. This is Shadowless. I'll be taking you through the latest news today. Unknown religious activities are becoming more common in areas surrounding Berlin. Experts believe that Elite could be the main cause. Since the end of the war, there have been over 1.69 million cases of Elite in Berlin alone, with the death toll being close to 170,000. According to statistics from the Wehr data company, due to shortages of resources, only 2% of ELIT patients receive proper medical treatment. 26% of ELIT patients cannot afford the medical costs and opt for radical treatments such as excising diseased tissues. The remaining 72% seek spiritual relief through religion. These statistics are quoted by technological companies such as Galatea. Early this morning, the police arrested the main perpetrator of a robbery in central Berlin who has been confirmed as a refugee. Since this summer, there have been many incidents of crime in the city centre perpetrated by refugees who left the quarantine zones illegally. Law enforcement has redirected more manpower to tighten security and control. Many citizens have expressed dissatisfaction with the government's inability to tackle high crime rates in the city, as well as concern over the widespread rumours of terrorist attacks. Law enforcement has yet to comment on such rumours. Galatea Corporation celebrates its 100th founding anniversary today. While attending the celebration, CEO Fedina also laid the foundation and cut the ribbon at the corporation's new production site. Galatea mainly produced electronic components when it was first established. Its business has since expanded into numerous other scientific fields, including artificial intelligence and nanobiomaterials. High crime in Berlin. Must be a Tuesday. Galatea now possesses world-class pharmaceutical and smart prosthetic technology, and has become a very important enterprise that is in close cooperation with a Nationale Volksarmee. And that concludes today's news. And this is Aktuelle Kamera, brought to you by the DRF. I mean, Berlin really isn't that bad for the most part. But I also understand that it is the same as joking about Bavaria being outside of Germany. It's just things that you have to deal with. It's also the same as with joking about Lower Saxony being essentially just a gigantic farm. Yeah. It stuns me that there's places with higher crime. Oh, significantly higher. All things considered, Berlin isn't that bad. in this place is one big farm. Let's start with the Angie storyline, and then, like, jump in between. Outside Galatea Sanatorium. Well, Julia. Light catches up to Angie, panting heavily. Boy. Angie comes to an abrupt halt. If the situation were any different, I would never have let you follow me around. If you insist on working with me, we've got to lay some ground rules. First of all, don't frau me. Sure. We'll leave the rest till later. And he turns away coldly and marches on. Don't mind her. Angie isn't particularly hard on you. She's like that to everyone. Okay, thanks. Light smiles helplessly at AK-12 and gives her a nod before catching up with Angie again. After a few paces, the grandiose building appears before them, and he stops again, seemingly in no hurry. So this is it. The sanatorium where Leon's being admitted to. Yes, Leon is currently receiving treatment here. I don't think she'd agree to meet. I didn't think she'd agree to meet. I'm noticing so many dolls in the background now that I'm paying attention to it. If she refused to see me, I wouldn't be able to force her into in this kind of place. Fortunately, Leona seems quite eager to talk. She accepted the invitation almost immediately. Now she'll give us something useful. Like, if you look at the background, up here, that's Thompson, I believe. I know this is a doll, but I can't quite... No, wait, I do. This is M950. We have Sabrina over here as a chibi. And these two are really hard to make out. Angie crosses her arms and glances at the main entrance. For a place that is meant to be peaceful and quiet, there are a lot of random people hanging around, don't you think? 15. We're detecting a large amount of cameras. Oh. Light seems to have realized something and scratches his head sheepishly. They're from Berlin Television Broadcasting. Berlin Television Broadcasting. The main branch of the Deutsche Fernsehfunk, the largest state-sanctioned broadcasting company in Germany. I live for the private recreational Humvee. Yes. What are the news reporter doing here? Other than Leona, are there any other high-profile patients in the sanatorium? Maybe it isn't a patient. And he gazes at the door thoughtfully. In the sanatorium, an interview with a certain high-profile figure is well underway in an isolated room. Thank you very much for making time to attend this interview today, Miss Gray. You're very welcome. This is something we agreed upon. It is very important for someone like me to play nice with exceptional reporters like you. You jest. As one of the best surgeons of Germany, in the entire world even, I doubt you'd need to pay any heed to public opinion. I don't believe it's a reporter's job to sway public opinion. Your remark makes it very clear that you still harbor some kind of misunderstanding and skepticism towards me. The way I see it, your job is to showcase the true side of society for more to see. In a certain sense, you are the bridge through which we communicate with the people. It is entirely up to you to convey our aspirations correctly. Hey, Miko. Does that mean you consider yourself separate from the people, Miss Gray? The young and attractive reporter asked a very pointed question, but this woman known as Miss Gray is not phased at all. Indeed, many are afraid of admitting this, a fear that I don't understand. As a doctor, I have dedicated most of my life to spreading hope to more people. This is precisely why I know better than anyone else that scalpers alone will not improve people's lives. I wish to become an advocate who can bring about positive change and improve the welfare of the people. To do that, I must first come to terms with what I'm doing. If I don't even have the courage to admit it, why should people believe in me? You sound exactly like a politician. But I must say, you are incredibly persuasive. If you ever decide to run for office, I will definitely vote for you. Thank you, Miss Shadowless. You honor me with your support. Now back to the subject. We wish to learn more about Iron, the new anti-collapse serum that Galatea is about to distribute, in the interview today. Item is being marketed as an affordable but highly effective drug. According to the spokesperson of the company, it is completely unlike any other existing drugs. This bold claim has been called into question by multiple scientists and dignitaries, but as a surgeon, you are extremely outspoken in your support for item. Nobody doubts your professional skills or ethics, but it's quite interesting that you would vouch for Galatea's product even though you are in their employment. Does your support stem from any commercial consideration? I agree that as to an outsider, it must be strange for a surgeon to vouch for an anti-collapse formulation. After all, certain medical fields are sometimes so far apart they might as well be different industries altogether. People are having misgivings mostly because of this. How would you respond to such doubts? Here's my response. Don't worry. I will never exploit the trust that my patients have in me. I may have a bit of reputation, but I'm still only one amongst all my fellow physicians. My confidence in Galatea's new product is based on its own merits. I simply wish more people would benefit from its success and receive a better medical treatment. Thanks to Galatea's prevalent marketing campaign, Ivan's alleged effects are no secret in Berlin. The drug has indeed yielded some remarkable results in clinical trials, but it still has to go through a lot of standard procedures before official distribution can begin. The general public perceives this vetting process as evidence that the government is impeding Ivan's distribution and is even talking about taking to the streets in protest. This is a premeditated marketing strategy on Galatea's part. Hey, Shadow. The recent unsanctioned demonstrations in Berlin are deeply regrettable. Galatea gives the government its full support and understanding in following standard procedures. We also have absolute confidence in passing the rigorous vetting process. Please wait patiently for dawn to break. Do not fall before the first ray of sunlight pierces the darkness. Thank you once again for attending this interview. Shadowless closes her notebook and bows politely to Grey. I'm sorry that the interview had to be cut short. No problem at all. I understand you have an extremely busy schedule that's frequently subjected to last-minute changes. I'm a bit curious though, why have you suddenly made a detour to the sanatorium? Do you have patients here? No, this visit is not work-related. It's a personal matter. See. In that case, we'll be taking a leave. The interview will air after some editing. Thank you, Miss Shadowless. Don't mention it. Just doing my job. Shadowless suddenly lets out a sound of surprise while she's packing her bag. Is something wrong? No, it's nothing. I just saw a familiar face. Sorry, Helvexter. Please study up. Please study up for me. I'll be right back. Hold on, Shadow. Shadowless leaves the room in a rush. Then, if you please. Dear me, young people are always so driven. If she caused any offense with her youthful candor, please do forgive her. Not at all. Miss Shadowless is a brilliant young lady. Miss Grey gets up from a chair languidly. Excuse me while I go to the restroom. The running faucet under which Miss Grey is washing her hands produces the only sound in the otherwise quiet restroom. Miss Grey fastidiously cleans her long, slender fingers with foamy soap and rinses it under the faucet. I don't take unscheduled interviews. After pulling out several tissues, she starts tidying up her appearance in front of the mirror and says it out of the blue. In an inconspicuous corner of the mirror, a woman suddenly emerges. Your reputation precedes you, Lady of Ashes. Please, just call me Grey. Miss Grey dries up her hands and inspects them again. Satisfied that they're thoroughly clean, she balls up the tissues and discards them in a nearby garbage can. You don't seem at all concerned about being stalked by a stranger. If you were a stranger, I would have alerted the guards immediately. But I do have the patience to entertain a certain Miss Anna Viktorovna Tsoy. You know me. You are quite the big name in the Berlin government right now. Should I be surprised that a doctor knows all about the government? A lot of my patients gossip. And you gaze at the reflection of Miss Grey's serene face in the mirror and softly closes the restroom door. I have some questions for you. As a fellow woman, don't you understand the importance of respecting a lady's moment of privacy? Through the mirror, Miss Grey sees what Angel just did, but it doesn't seem to alarm her. Instead, she casually takes out a pressed powder. I don't have the need to preen in front of a mirror in a restroom. With that face, I can see why you don't. Wow! That's rude. You've heard of Leona Michel, I gather? Of course, Leona is an expert in biochemistry. Galante has offered an olive branch to her many times, which she repeatedly refused. She's certainly a woman of character, just like you, Miss Angelia. Her character didn't do her any good. Hard to say if yours will also lead you down the same fate. Angie's eyes narrowed at Miss Grey's subtle threat. There seems to be more to your relationship with her than you're letting on. Sorry to disappoint, but I'm both mentally and physically a heterosexual female. Otherwise, you'd make a decent partner. Miss Grey puts away her powder and fishes out a lipstick. She turns around and looks at Angie. Angie's gaze drifts from the lipstick in Grey's hands up to her lips out of reflex as the flirtatious remark sinks in. Grey seems to have no intention of applying the lipstick. She's just playing with it, twisting the lipstick piston up and down. At her mocking and disdainful gesture, Angie inhales through gritted teeth and balls up her fists. You know exactly why I brought up Leona. She couldn't have committed those crimes in Bremen all by herself. She has somebody behind her who pulled the strings to have her transported to Berlin, to this very facility, after she was arrested. They also helped her evade legal sanctions. What a gruesome tale. So let me get this straight. You suspect someone exploited their authority to help Leona escape their punishments, and then you appear before me under such pretext. How astonishing. What on earth have I done to raise your unfounded suspicion? The Flora Institute has a very limited number of collaborators, especially in Berlin. The only person on that list who also happens to be here is you, Miss Grey. After twisting her lipstick up and down countless times, Grey finally lifted up to her lips and applies it delicately. Angie watches her go through the practiced motion. Her lips, painted bright red to begin with, appear even more sultry. Is that all you got? I don't even know what to say. Don't you think you've made quite a few logical leaps in your deduction process? The Angelia I've heard so much about is an extraordinary special agent, not some third-rate detective who makes groundless accusations based on subjective speculations. Grey replaces the cap on her lipsticks and smacks her lips lightly with hooded eyes. And you're still watching her unblinkingly, gauging her reaction. You've worked together. That's evidence enough for me. A surgeon collaborating frequently with Leona, who specializes in biochemistry. What were the two of you doing? Grey lifts her head and stares at Angel coldly. She slowly reaches into the right pocket of her coat. And just bracing herself for whatever Grey extracts from her pocket, but it turns out to be nothing but a lollipop. Miss Angelia. If I remember correctly, you're from the Soviet Statesec, aren't you? From my limited understanding, there has been some conflict between you and Statesec, and you do not answer to them anymore. Yet here you are, all alone in Germany, being in frequent contact with the Stasi. If everything I just stated is true, I must admit you have me very much intrigued. What exactly are you doing here? What happened between you and the Neo-Soviets? I mean, Bakasura, there's some very dangerous lollipops in this universe, like the explosive ones that MP7 carries in GFL 2. Exactly, get Grey shoves the wrapping she just removes into her pocket and puts the lollipop into her mouth, leaving only the stick hanging outside. Everyone has the secrets, Miss Angelia. I understand if you do not wish to satisfy my curiosity. After all, who doesn't have a skeleton in the closet? My situation is also rather complicated. Trade secrets are still secrets, even if they aren't anywhere near as important as state secrets. Every word she just said sounds like a jab at Angie. Your non-answer is an answer in itself. This whole business lacks a logical explanation. And since you refuse to give me one, I'm afraid I'll have to substitute it with my own. Grey's lollipop stick wiggles up and down like a pendulum of her thoughts. After a moment of silence, she shrugs and opens her mouth hesitantly. Actually, I answered this very question just a few minutes ago. Asked by a reporter. The research at the Flora Institute is indeed rather irrelevant to my profession, but I have never been one to be constrained by such field categorizations. I simply wish to make this world a better place. I know you may find that hard to believe, but it is the truth. I have both the interest and courage in trying new things as long as I see the potential. This goes for Leona's work as well as I done. I have also funded a lot of other research. If you're so inclined, you may investigate them one by one, and I'll be happy to assist you in the investigation. After all, I don't know if there are any other cases like Leona in my portfolio. She lets out a sigh. The lollipop knocks against the teeth inside her mouth. Leona is very talented. Her research could have been such a boon for humankind. I deeply regret that she has gone down such a this misguided path. She was used. The real source of evil is whoever manipulated her from behind the scenes. Then I sincerely wish you all the success in hunting down this manipulator and bringing them to justice. Andy's fingers twitch. It suddenly occurs to her that she is dealing with someone who is a different kind of trouble. What if the people who interviewed you find out about the scandal? Then I'll be forced to issue an apology. I'll apologize for not discovering my collaborators' criminal intent in time and denounce the Flora Institute for their unethical practices. Meanwhile, the Grey Institute of Biotechnology will make a donation to the support medical aid. After that, this incident will be swept under the carpet, so along with anyone who investigated it. New Soviet agents are so amusing. Don't make a movie villain out of me, Mr. Julia. I really do like you, you know. Do you know? Well, I don't know what I've done to deserve your admiration. Perhaps one day we'll find ourselves standing on the same side, fighting for the same goal. Before that, I don't mind making friends with someone like you. I don't usually bother wasting so much time on idle chit-chat with people I don't like. Grace straightens up and makes for the door. She puts her hand on the doorknob. Andrew grabs her by the arm out of reflex. Grace's arm is incredibly slender. And he has the feeling that she could snap this important tool which Gray's entire livelihood depends on if she just applied a bit more strength. Other than wiggling her lollipop stick, Gray does not react to Andrew's impudent action. She gazes at Andrew's arm after a 2-second pause. She reaches into her pocket. Your prosthetic limbs seem to be in terrible condition, Miss Angelia. You are very welcome to visit me at my private clinic. I'd be happy to fix you up, free of charge. She produces a name card and offers it to Andrew. On the card is her name, Miss Gray, and the address of her clinic. Andy slowly releases her grip and takes the name card wordlessly. Are you this friendly to everyone? Not at all. You're a special case, Miss Angelia. Am I? I wonder why. Ray takes the lollipop out of her mouth with an ambiguous half-smile and tosses it into the garbage can by the door. She suddenly leans in close to Angie, who takes a step back instinctively, only to find a wall directly behind her. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Angelia. Tell me, do you miss the time you spend in Bremen? Gray's lips hover right next to Angie's earlobe. She murmurs each word distinctly in a low, husky voice. While Angie is still frozen in shock, Gray has already opened the restroom door and swanned off. Wait. Angie recovers from a momentary daze and bursts through the door in pursuit. Gray's already on the other end of the hallway with 2 security guards in tow. Just before she disappears around the corner, she glances back at Angie with a sly smile. And now, damn it! Angie punches the wall in anger. Sprinkles of dust fall from the ceiling. The toilet in the locked cubicle inside the restroom suddenly flashes. The door opens and RPK saunters out. What an interesting woman, don't you think? It's her. She's the one behind Leonish. There is no mistake. Shame. Maybe I should have made my move before she left. There's no point. We can't do anything to her. She knows that, which is why she was being so brazen. Should we just take her out? Even more pointless. Paradise surely has more than one Grey. I understand. Andy inhaled deeply to collect herself. Gray's face is deeply imprinted into her mind. This isn't over yet. Just you wait. At the same time, on the commander side. Temporary command post, Berlin. Utterly exhausted, the commander flops down on the sofa right after entering the room. Since you safely returned to the command post, we'll go get some rest ourselves. Sure, your work for the day is over too. Hurry 45, if we don't leave soon, the queues are going to be super long. Coming. See you tomorrow, Commander. Oh. The transmission ends and the Commander lifts a hand up to the forehead. How was Miss Angie? Well enough. At the very least, she looked like she could still easily snap my neck. Speaking of which, about Maclean. Perdosa stands at the doorway with a cup of strong tea in hand. What happens? She's away, Commander. Also, I think you'll need this. The Commander accepts the tea, which is at just the right temperature. Its thick aroma fills the nose and lifts the spirits. Get down the line. We'll begin the interrogation. She's compiling information, Bonestop. Then we'll start without her. Inside the room, Maclean is already woken up and is sitting on a chair while glaring coldly at the Commander. The Commander drags a chair over and sits opposite of her. Your name is Maclean, is that correct? Yes. What about you? Are you really called Robin? No comment, but you can keep calling me Robin if you like. I knew it. Still, you did save me. The Commander looks up from the information on the tablet and carefully studies Maclean's appearance. She's still a little groggy and confused, having just woken up from being knocked out. She looks practically identical to the picture of Morido, but the temperament couldn't be any more different. Is Morido just that good at disguising herself? Is she really somebody else? When did you first join Paradise? I was never part of Paradise. I'm just an ordinary person. From what I know, there's a girl from Paradise who looks just like you. You might have heard the name before. Morido. What is your relationship with her? Or are you her, perhaps? I have only one name, Maclean. That's the only thing people call me. So you refuse to disclose the nature of your relationship with her? I don't care about her affairs and I don't want to hear about her. I want nothing to do with her for the rest of my life. Maclean's eyes fill with fear and pain at the mention of Morido's name. Then let's talk about you. When we found you, you were in Bonestop. Bonestop was a refugee shelter that was built a few years ago. What were you doing there? Treating Elite patients. Why? There's no why to it. Since I have the ability to do so, I ought to use it as a treat to treat refugees in need. To my knowledge, there's no existing medical cure for Elite. The most common therapy nowadays involves strengthening the patient's antibodies to gradually defeat the illness. But I saw you spray over a refugee and perform a certain ritual, and then the refugee got better, just like that. What did you do? Was it some kind of medicine? Yes. Where did your medicine come from? Who supplied you with medicine? Maclean looks like she wants to say something, but her lips quiver for a long time without uttering a word. Are you afraid of something? Maclean goes quiet, avoiding the question. If all you want from me is treatment, then you can just bring the patients to me and I will save them. But if you kidnap me because you're after the exact treatment method, then you have wasted your time. Less interested in the why, more the how. Because I'm the only one who can administer it. We haven't known each other for a long time, but I can sense that you're different from those who profit off an anti-Elite products. Profit is not your goal. I'm not saying this to trick you or win your trust. I simply wish for us to meet each other halfway. If you release me, I am willing to help you. There's a creak as Dandelion pushes the door open. Commander, I finished compiling the information on Bonestop. The moment she sees Dandelion, Maclean's calm features begin to distort. Paradise, you? You from Paradise? What? Maclean's eyes fill with tears as she glares at the Commander with a look of anger and despair. Disbelief and betrayal are written all over her face. Here you are again. What are you going to do what are you going to do to me this time? You're going to strap me into a slab and torture me forever, aren't you? We aren't going to do that, Maclean. Please calm down. Maclean laughs derisively as she stares blankly. I won't let you have your way. Neither him nor you. Nobody will. Commander, her virtual cognition image is disintegrating. She's coming. She's coming. I can hear her footsteps. Dandelion subdue her. On it. A second later, Macklin knocks over the table as she slumps in limply to the ground. What does it mean when the virtual cognition image disintegrates? Simply put, it's like a doll's neurocloud meltdown. A virtual cognition image? Is that the Paradise equivalent of a neurocloud? Why have I never heard that term before? Because I just made it up on the spot. I've already verified the presence of a virtual cognition image in Maclean, which is to say she is 100% a Niter. I should also point out that now is when her defenses are no slacks, so I recommend hacking her directly. Why didn't you tell me earlier? Will it cause a harm? You never asked. And the current lack of resistance will actually minimize the damage we inflict. Then get started right away. I want answers. Understood. One-sided recollection. Also, how are you doing, Miko? Is this a minigame? This is probably a minigame. But of what kind? One that is easy to do on this? Or... Warning, this is a combat tutorial, do not skip. Commander, we have entered Maclean's virtual cognitive image. Our actions here may alter the environment in unpredictable ways. I will release the neural data of certain Griffin T-dolls to start within me. Their experience in battle will be of great assistance to us. I can strengthen our forces by harnessing the doll's experience. Of course, it is your choice whose data to use, but we will face more powerful enemies with each enhancement. The two skills in the bottom right corner are Enhance and Throw. Enhance gives you a 10-point shield for 3 seconds. Throw deals of 1.5 times AoE damage to the farthest enemy. Use them well to defeat the enemies, and we can delve deeper into the virtual consciousness. Pause mid-battle to view your selected doll experience. You may also tap battle settlements to exit the current battle. Our exploration will still count as success, even if you exit this way. Also, you won't be able to select the new battle experience after 8 battles, but there is no end to the danger in the virtual cognitive image. You might enjoy testing the limit of the virtual consciousness. If you are up for the challenge, have a go at it in endless mode. Don't give up and try to push as far as we can go. Not to shoot a normal attack. Got her, right? I mean, Va, but at the same time, Vector. I fucking love Vector. She's great. That's not a lot of nice day. 20 increases self damage by 30%. Self-based damage increases as the self increases. Increase damage by 0.6% of every point of HP below the maximum. Thanks, goes activated. That's funny. We need all the events up to the latest. Yes. In fact, I already have. You are... well, I have been doing this for... close to 2 years at this point. And I have caught up with... like, this is the last event that I haven't played. Including all of the following ones, I have played everything. Everything's been on stream. 95% of everything has been saved as a VOD. I'm still thinking about if I want to go through Fixed Point and following stuff again, to go through it in a more orderly fashion. Because I have gone through it as the event was current, so it's a little bit disordered, you know? I kind of came up when I didn't yet know the events of this, for example. I've been doing this for a long time. I would appreciate close getting them both thrown in the middle of my mental timeline. Yeah, it's going to happen again next week. I am gonna really have to apologize for that, but I will still continue playing the events as they come up. And next week, literally on Christmas Eve, yeah. They're releasing the next event. Which is just 0 charges, what it's called. I wrote 0 points somewhere, but I'm stupid. I'm wrong. It's 0 charge. Wait, hey. But yeah, you can check out my VODs if you want to. There is a playlist with... that I actually... You see, I've been a little bit lazy, I have to admit. The playlist is pretty comprehensive and everything. That's a lot sooner than I realized. Yeah. I have been highlighting the VODs. I didn't add them to the playlist, so I actually need to go back and add them all to the playlists again. Sugi. Bonus increase by 50%. This is actually kind of funny. You can have a build here. So the 3% for burning zone and incendiary grenades. Okay, that's pretty good. Throw. Nice. This is a weird auto-battler thing that is actually kind of fun. All burning also suffer 50% vulnerability. That's also really good. That is also really good. At the moment I want this. That's pretty nice. Damage inflicted permanently increased by 8%. That's also very nice. Oh, for every 30 seconds, the multiplier for the damage inflicted by burning zones is permanently increased by 1%. That's actually better than Honey Badger in every way. Bang. Because that's just going to scale, like, slowly but surely. Come on, get him. Bonk him. There you go. 50% damage to 2 targets at once. Triggers applicable skills twice. Grenades because of a chance of... Ooh, these two are very nice. Let's do HP 35. Bonk him. The event releasing on Christmas kind of messed you up. Understandable. I mean, we've never had an event literally releasing on Christmas. It's very unlikely. It's got an incendiary grenade effect after 6 seconds in instance of burning damage. Oh, that's actually very nice. Yes, I'll take that. Bonk him. Regular attacks produce instances of that. That's not very. Enemies take damage from incendiary grenades or burning zones, vulnerability stacking infinitely. That is just a very good buff. Macklin. Yeah. More fire. I'm not very good at kiting in this game, I'll be honest. Never have been, probably never will be. Never been the way that I like to play the game. Bonk. I just really want to beat this specific thing anyway, and then it'll be fine. Okay, this is just a damage check, I guess. There we go. Grenade build. Funny. B? A B? Not that. Well. Yeah, that was just a mini game. Not a big deal. B for burn. 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 Rage of the heavens. I will be right back, I need to use the bathroom. I think I'll actually continue streaming for a little bit longer than I usually do for Frontline, because I just really want to know the story of this event. So just give me a moment. I will be right back. Also, fun fact, I'm pretty sure some bots unfollowed me again. Because I had funny number as follow number. It was 666 and now it's not. I'll be right back. Hello. I see that the moment I left, there was a flute toggle in headbutts. Pretty based. How there. I shall now hate the floof. But it is mine. Mine alone. A reflection. Me. Hold on. A familiar figure flits past. Chandler dashes out of the reception room in pursuit, but the figure's nowhere to be seen. She stands at the intersection and glares suddenly at the empty hallways. Shadow? You gave me such a scare. What's the matter with you? Why did you run off all of a sudden? What if we made a bad impression on Miss Grey? The assistant comes running after Shadowless and admonishes her while still out of breath. Shadowless finally gives up. She turns back and shakes her head at her assistant. Sorry, I thought I saw someone on you. Did Miss Grey say anything? Well, no. Really? That one sure is a crafty one. Shadow. The assistant's eyes widen in alarm. That's Miss Grey you're talking about. How could you say that? Eli, if you truly want to become a good reporter, you must learn to see through the celebrities' facades for whom they really are. But Miss Grey feels genuinely like a good person. Besides, we really do need cheaper drugs desperately. They finally developed one. Isn't this fantastic news for the people? Personal morals are irrelevant to people like her. I'll refrain from commenting on Miss Grey's position, but she is very smart and knows exactly what we reporters want to hear. I'll give her that. She always says just the right thing to win people over. She didn't get to where she is today with just a pretty face. Shadowless shoves her hand into the pockets of her trench coat and looks in the direction of the reception with a piercing gaze that seems to see through all deception. Iron could indeed be an effective cure, but this cake will be gobbled up long before the people who need it most can even get to it. Remember, Eli, our job as the media is to uncover and piece together the truth. The nature of our work requires us to be critical of everything we see. At the very least, we must give the full picture so that the people can have all the facts, not just things that these people want them to know. This is way too dark. Your way of looking at things, I mean. It's reality, Eli. These corporations and the government are all birds of a feather. Don't be fooled by the glamorous appearance. In the end, the only ones we can trust are ourselves. Shadowless watches as her other colleagues leave the reception room with all the packed equipment. Let's head back. Okay. The group make for the main exit with Shadowless trailing behind. She stomps and looks back at the hallway behind her. Shadow? Coming. After the press corps has left, Light strolls out from a corner that Shadowless gaze has swept over. The sixth sense is as sharp as ever. Light, where are you? We're done over here. Right, I'll be right there. Light turns off his comms and strokes his chin. She didn't see me, I hope. With a faint sense of unease, he once again retreats into the blind spot of the CCTV system. Now, what's the matter with that? Anyway, Angie's path again. In the courtyard of the sanatorium, gentle sunshine caresses the grassy lawn, filling the air with an earthy aroma. Look, Frau Leone. The cornflowers are blooming. Sorry, could you push me somewhere else? I don't want to see any flowers. Oh, sorry. It's alright. Also, it feels a bit chilly. Could you fetch me a blanket? Chilly? Sure, I'll go get one from the medical room. Please stay where you are. Rena looks down at the arm in a cast. I think it's a trussed up. She can't even stand up from a wheelchair. The courtyard of the sanatorium was work of the famous landscape designer. All the flowers and herbs have been chosen and planted with great care. Everything within sight exists to alleviate stress. Rena takes a deep breath. They probably don't get a lot of patients who are sensitive to the scent of flowers. What do they do with patients with hay fever? A presence suddenly emerges from behind. Her wheelchair is being pushed by the handles once more. That was quick, nurse. I forgot your blanket, though. Hope you don't mind. It's you. Leona tries to jump up to her feet unconsciously, but Angie presses her down firmly on the shoulder with a bionic arm. Ash, I just want to talk. Leona bites her lip. She's shivering over in fear. She does not dare to defy Angie. Not just because her very life is in Angie's hand right now, but also because the sight of Angie reminds her of the white spectre that has plagued her mind incessantly. I believe I've told the caretakers to send you away. And you'd think I'd walk away just like that? You'd agree to meet me? What changed your mind all of a sudden? Angie eyes Leona intently. She doesn't look at all like a recuperating patient. She looks rather haggard, as if she has recently been through an ordeal. What's Grey here to see you? Leona flinches, which confirms Angie's suspicion. She heard you were going to meet us and came to warn you, didn't she? Did she tell you to keep your mouth shut? You know something that she doesn't want anybody to find out, don't you? Stop asking, I won't tell you anything. Leona grips the armrest of a wheelchair, her feeble body still trembling. She looks incredibly frail, but at the same time very resolute. You know I won't give up so easily. You don't understand at all, Angelia. She isn't someone that a small-time special agent like you can mess with. For your own sake, just forget about this whole business. Let us both have some peace. Leona grows increasingly agitated. Even her broken fingers are curling up. I just want to live. That doesn't sound like something a person who's attempted to commit suicide would say. Thanks to you, I have a newfound appreciation for life. Oh, by the way. As if struck by a sudden thought, Leona lifts her head. They give off very similar vibes. Who? Grey and your subordinate. RPK? I don't know her name, but I'm talking about the doll who broke my arm. I know it's none of my business, but I suggest you keep an eye on her. Right, it's none of your business. Andy sizes up Leona and glances at her watch. The nurse will be returning soon. I'll be back. Don't bother. I won't change my mind. By then, the presence behind us already know more. Oh, Leona, I'm back. I'm putting the blanket on your Why are you so clammy? Oh, Leona? I gather it didn't go well. We're just a bit too late. Grey came and threatened Leona. She wouldn't tell me anything. How efficient of her. Are you giving up, or just like that? If you can't bring yourself to do it, so I don't mind stepping in. I'm sure Miss Leona would love to continue our intimate little game. No need. Leona's very adamant right now. It won't end well if we force her. Leave her be for now. I have another idea. Andy shifts her attention to the lights, who's looking a little disheartened, but once he notices Angie's gaze, he pulls himself together right away. I will have people watching this place to ensure Leona's personal safety. Good. That is certainly a necessary precaution. She may be safe for the moment, but that could change any minute. Keep an eye on her for now. We'll tackle this some other way. Should I gather information on Miss Grey? She is a possible lead, but I don't see much point of pursuing it. She's constantly under the spotlight. If there's anything fishy about her, somebody would have noticed by now. So, what do you suggest? I want to see Powell. Can you make the arrangements? Powell? He's currently serving prison time. I don't know if we'll get through, but I'll try. Still, why him? You don't need to know. I've got my own plans. Alright. I'll get this started right away. Knight is a little taken aback by Angie's harsh response, but in the end he just nods and takes his leave. Upcase shoots Angie a questioning look and draws after lights out of earshot. Suspicion of him, Angie? You got any objections? No, but just as a reminder, paranoia can affect your judgment. We're not in Bremen anymore. But Grey was too fast. It's too much of a coincidence. This is exactly like how it was in Bremen. Even if it isn't light, one of his subordinates could be leaking our plans. Don't forget, if Grey has the power to get Leona acquitted, then she's more than capable of planting moles in the Stasi. I know what I'm doing. Let's go back to the apartment and wait for Light to get back to us. A94 seems to have noticed something. She walks over to Angie. Be careful. Thanks. And she leans on A94's arm as she makes it down the stairs slowly. The following day. Having recovered more energy, Angie undergoes rigorous vetting process and finally makes it to the interrogation room that Light has arranged. Light stands outside the door and looks at Angie with some concern. Are you sure you don't wish to be accompanied? Yes, just wait here with the Vi. Also, well done. You've been very efficient. My applications went through very fast, almost unsettlingly fast. This kind of application usually takes a few days to be approved. Light's words are dripping with implication, but Angie ignores it altogether. Sometimes it's best not to ask too many questions. It won't do you any good, Mr. Light. Upon entering the dingy interrogation room on her own, Powell's loathsome face comes into view once more. Angie settles down quickly and initiates the conversation under Powell's watchful gaze. Good morning, Mr. Powell. Stop beating around the bush, Miss Angelia. Powell purses his plump, pouty lips, trying to appear tough. But Angie can spot the beads of sweat forming on his forehead with just a glance. Angie pulls out a chair and sits down opposite of Powell. They didn't strip you of your suit? I didn't expect a preacher from Bremen to command such respect even in Berlin. Wouldn't have come this far without a few friends. Powell's gaze wanders around the room. He dabs at a clammy forehead with the handkerchief in his cuffed hands from time to time. And yet your friends are still keeping you locked up in here. I hear that Leona gets to sleep on the soft mattress in some luxurious lodgings. Any idea why? Don't bother. Told the Stasi everything I know. You're wasting your time here. I knew you were going to say that, but I just don't believe you. A wily old fox such as yourself must have card up your sleeve. Must have saved up a card up your sleeve. Even now, you still think everything's under control. When in fact, you're not even in the game anymore. How dare you! And you must have struck a nerve, as Powell slammed his hands on the desk all of a sudden. You know nothing about me, bitches! Soon I'll be out of here, and I'll make everyone pay for this. Angie pinches the bridge of her nose and shakes her head. She rises from a chair. What are you doing? We're not done yet. Are you leaving? Powell seems to think Angie got up to take a leave and starts panicking. Ah, so you do understand your situation. Do you have any idea what will happen to you if you refuse to cooperate? Now you're scared. Scared? Me? You must be kidding. You're the one begging me for information, agent. So fix your attitude. Huh. Lights, turn on the CCTV. What's a big idea? Turn on or off? Turn off the CCTV. What's a big idea? Sensing danger, Powell eyes Angie warily. But Angie doesn't answer. She just circles around to his back. I'm warning you, if I... In just a second, before Powell can even finish the sentence, his head is slammed heavily against the metal surface of the desk. Ah! Angie then jerks his head back up by his hair, causing him to squeal like a pig. You bitch, let me go with me, oh god, please, I beg you! I've dealt with too many pieces of shit like you. I know how easy it is to break you. Grabbing him by the head, Angie slams him against the desk a few more times. The skin on Powell's forehead quickly breaks, and his entire face is soon covered in blood and gore. Ah. I don't have time to waste on garbage. Angie's slightly hoarse voice sounds no different from a devil's murmur to Powell. Tell me, who pulled Leona out and why? What does Leona have on her? Tell you, for heaven's sake, I'll tell you everything. Let go. Angie thrusts Powell's head onto the desk one last time before swaggering back to her chair. Powell sobs and whimpers as he slowly lifts his head. He has long since lost the hold of his handkerchief, and there's nothing with which to clean the blood off his face. I don't know who it was, but I know why they did it. Why? Because of her research. Before you trashed the Flora Institute, Leona's research had reached a critical stage. That person was after Leona's tech, but she refused to share anything but the formulation of the hallucinogenic. So I actually did her a favor. Leona doesn't have much choice under these circumstances, and this is part of her plan. What else do you know? What is her research about? I don't know the details, but it's definitely about some kind of weapon of mass destruction. There are many weapons of mass destruction in the world. Why are they so interested in Leona's? What's so special about it? I only know what I know because I was given the opportunity to use it, but even so, All I know is that the substance is very easy to conceal and virtually undetectable by any kind of device. It's perfect for terrorist attacks. Yes, it can be easily delivered to anywhere. Just imagine, if I could get a dirty bomb inside the Chancellor's residence, what would be beyond my reach? Who wouldn't fear me? His pain must have started to subside, because Paul has regained some of his usual insolence. His teeth are dyed red by his blood, but he's still cackling at his own little fantasy. Andrew jumps to her feet. Andrew's abrupt movement sends Powell cowering again. That's all I know. Planning something big in Berlin. It can't be. She pays him no mind. Instead, she places both hands on the desk and mutters to herself with a deep, ponderous frown. No, just knowing isn't enough. I have no evidence. Powell watches Angel's strange behavior and carefully loosens up, seeing that she doesn't seem to have any intention of hitting him. After some hesitation, he sniffs. I can see that you're still missing one last card in your hand. You got any friendly advice? I'd hardly call it friendly, not for a crazy bitch like you. Paul realizes his mistake the moment the derogatory tone slips out and his voice trails off. But he refuses to take back what he just said. His face flushes red in either fear or indignation. She stares at him impatiently. She won't inflict any more violence on him because she's already got what she wanted. Let's make a deal. A deal? I have a lead, which will definitely be useful to you. If you can guarantee my safety, I could... Just spit it out. You may not even live to regret not making a deal with me while you still can. Powell opens his mouth and pauses, but as he returns Angel's gaze, he understands that his options are limited. He grits his teeth and fishes out a cigarette case from his pocket. What's this? Angie takes the case and opens it. Inside is a small vial. Every prison has its own smuggler, and Berlin prison is no exception. Tobacco, whiskey, posters of hot shakes. Where there's a demand, there's a supply, and I'm sure you understand. Most wardens turn a blind eye to this kind of stuff, but sometimes because of a bribe, sometimes just to keep the peace. But drugs, that's where they draw the line. No, this is no ordinary drug. Obviously not. How else would I be able to get it in? So what is this? You still remember the substance I used in Berlin? The one that I got from Leona. The hallucinogen. I have friends in Berlin prison as well. Word has it, this has become all the rage lately. Hallucinogen. Being circulated in prison. I don't know what it means and I have no interest in finding out. But I've given you the lead. Now keep up your end of the bargain. And you waste the cigarette case in her palm and pockets it. Who else have you told about this? Just you. I didn't even know when the Stasi interrogated me. So the only ones who know about this are you and me. Of course, there's no telling if anyone involved in the smuggling business would let it slip, but that's beyond my control. Don't tell another soul. I will remember this favor. Alright then. Heraclitus River 2. This is another minigame. Andrew, how'd it go? I'll fill you in on the way. You don't look too happy. Did you find out anything new? Nothing useful. He's been pretty much squeezed dry by your colleagues. Knight raises an eyebrow. He opens his mouth to say something, but then changes his mind. Once they're out of the building, Angie hastens back to the apartment. Yep, our Christmas gift is zero charge. It's gonna be a ride! Hey, Darkcase, how are you doing? Also, I can absolutely, definitely not stream on the 24th. The 25th and the 26th? Maybe. So, maybe I'll be able to do some streams for that. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see. Yeah. Turns out that, you know, the holidays are busy. Who'd have guessed? And not just that, I'm also quite busy over New Year's. Now that I think about it. But for now, 1 week to catch up. I mean, I am pretty much caught up with the story, personally. The only thing that I haven't done story-wise is this, what I'm doing right now. So, Unless that's not what you meant. Once out of the building, Angie hastens back to the apartment. AK-15 speaks up all of a sudden. Angie. What? We are being followed. Shake them off. Okay, well, those are some spicy units. 300k. Find clues near the interrogation station. Find the indicated radar station. Okay, we need to get to both of these places, it seems. Which will be spicy. This is the only unit we can actually fight against. But, for now, it seems we have a mostly safe passage through most of this area. As long as we got on here. We have to fight one enemy, but this enemy is also the only one that's weaker. Okay, we have alerted these two. Wait a minute. Where did you come from? You were not here a moment ago. Okay, so we are being tailed. Right now. Right here. We have suddenly been put on a time limit. Not very great. Huh?
Oi.
What?
Wake up.
What do you mean, wake up?
Why the fuck are you sitting here all alone?
I'm streaming!
Oh, you are still streaming? Why the fuck are you streaming at 11:20?
Because I felt like it
Anyway,
mostly.
see ya.
Take care!
Hey, Sleepless.
Hi, Lurker.
Maybe you should check Twitch before you hop into the voice channel.
Nah. Also, I pulled Tololo, fuck you.
Nice!
See ya.
That was funny. This actually kind of sucks. We're gonna move down here. This actually really sucks. First of all, we must trade the salt with the drug. 12th, go and get a line on who's peddling prohibited goods in prison. Is it better to let the actual townie handle this? I mean, the whelp. He doesn't even know I've got my hands on this vial. Now cut the crap. This is a piece of cake for you. I want results in 2 hours. Alright, leave it to me. Well, piece of cake. The Berlin Underworld network is transparent like glass. There are 4 people smuggling goods into the prison, 2 of which have gone missing since a while ago. Coincidentally, 2 new players have taken their places, and as far as I know, the other 2 have no objections about that. Whoever has any objections is now dead. Brutal, but simple. 15, take over from here. This shouldn't be a problem for you, right? I'll handle it. Okay, so we probably just want to blow the fuck up on this dude. Yes. Solid, that's the only way out. So otherwise that one would have cut us off. I actually have a quick question to myself. Did I just fuck up by being stupid? I did. Ahem. Allow me to fix this. Yeah, the capture. I fucked up. Is this supposed to be the slum in Berlin? The conditions are even better than some regular residential areas in Bremen. The standard of living really varies from city to city. 15, what have you got so far? What's his plot saying on the floor? He refused to talk unless I offered him something in return. Well, clearly you've made him an offer he couldn't refuse. So what have you learned? These 2 are definitely in the source of the hallucinogen circulation in the prison. Circulating in prison. But they're not the first consigners. They have to report to their superior whenever they receive and distribute a consignment. This superior apparently never deals with them in person. Apparently? I found them. Good job. Notify APK. Prepare to move out. Understood. This has got to be a trap. Doop, 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 doop. It's way too easy, way too simple. I think I'll do this more story note and then I'll stop for today. Back in the apartment, Andrew places the vial on the table and studies it intently. I could tell from your face that you haven't returned empty-handed. I guess Wolf snuck up quietly behind her. Where are the others? 594 watching the whelp, 15 and 16 are on the lookout. You don't want him to take part in what's coming up? That's because I'm about to cross the line. If he finds out, things will get messy. What's the plan? First of all, I must track down whoever's slinging this. According to Powell, this thing is ample supply, so there must be more. Whoever the supply is, they must have left traces. What's this? The same stuff we encountered in Bremen, remember? Hallucinogen a la Leon. but all of Leon's and Powell's stocks should have been seized by the Stasi when they were arrested. So either there's another source, or they still have spies in the Stasi. Which do you think is more probable? I know for a fact that Leon and Powell didn't hold all the stock. But do you see the implication of such flagrant circulation of this illicit substance within Berlin prison? Who do you think I can trust, 12? Angie taps the armrest on her chair, her voice wavering slightly. Me, 94, 15, and the Griffin Commander. Oh, 16 as well. You're not alone in this fight, Angie. Relax. You're being too hard on yourself. I know. Call connected. Angie? Good afternoon, Commander. I hope you have good news for me. Well, I don't know if it counts as good news. I do have a new lead, but it points towards a tragedy that's poised to happen. Just poised to happen, not already happened, so I'll take that as good news. Go ahead, what's this about? Remember the Earl said William is planning something big in Berlin? I have an inkling of what it might be. An inkling. William is possibly planning to detonate a dirty bomb in Berlin. I saw an image of the aftermath. The entire city covered in epiphilia. Dandelion also believes that this is the desired effect of a certain plan. A dirty bomb? Are you certain? It's possible even for William to get something like that into Berlin. I'm not sure, but there's evidence to support this conjecture. The specific implementation and time frame are still unclear under the investigation. I just think you should know about this. Right, got it. You're starting to sound like that old geezer. And how are things going with Morado? Have you obtained any information from her? You mean Maclean? Nothing so far. I'm working on it. If it's not working out, just send it over to me before it's too late. I have more ways than one to make a talk. No, it's okay. I can handle it. Fine. Say, did something happen? You seem kinda out of it. Me? No, I'm perfectly fine. Don't try to fool me, you should know better. Or do you not trust me? That's not it. It's just... Kalina Maya didn't spend too long in the red zone. Eliz? Yeah. I'm sorry. Is it serious? It's not too bad at the moment. It's still only in the early stages. I'm just worried about the allocation of medical... No, forget it. Don't worry. That young lady is a strong one. If she had enlisted, she would have done at least as well as me. She'll pull through. Yeah, thanks. Right, I've got stuff to do. Until next time. Okay, bye. What a nightmare. The competent Miss Kalina succumbed at a time like this. No wonder she wasn't there at the pub. Angie closes her eyes. She suddenly clutches at the chest and bends down. Angie? Angie! 12? Angie? I'm fine. Angie clenches her fist. Her hand is clammy with sweat. If what the commander says it's true, then everything unusual that's happening could be a prelude to the oncoming attack. The Earl wasn't lying. You think the attack is going to happen? Why not? This also corresponds to the leads we currently have. You heard the commander. The image is the aftermath of a dirty bomb explosion, with epiphilia blooming. Who has the means to transport a dirty bomb into the heart of Berlin? It can only be Leon's new technology. I don't know what exactly it is yet, but it must have something to do with epiphilia. This must be what Grey is planning. Does make sense. Then the woman is the key to the whole conspiracy. Has Leon given her tech yet? Has given her the tech yet? We have to let the Earl get rid of her before she starts putting the plan into motion. The Earl wants evidence, so we'll give him evidence. Angie inhales deeply to ease the tightness in her chest. We must track down the supply of this hallucinogen. You and 94... No. Have 94 watch that kid. Get 15 and 16 to help you look into who's smuggling that drug into prison. Understood? William wants to play an epic game of chess. So I'm overturning his chessboard. I will never let him get what he wants. And I believe that is pretty much the day or the time where we stop for today. Reason being, it is late. I've already gone like over an hour longer than I should have. But, you know, this is fine. Let me go and check who we can raid for today. As this story is... Like, honestly, I would really like to continue. It's very interesting. I do know the aftermath, obviously. I understand what's going on. It's just, you know... I want to see the story exactly as it's happened. Cheers for stream. Yeah. Let me see. Let me see. To be free late, but the other way around this time. Well, I mean, I was late. I just stopped even later. Just learned that there's no ranking in the CC. You feel relieved. Wait. Ooh, jeez. Wait. So, who am I gonna raid today? You know what? You know what? I know who we're raiding. We're raiding Son, who's currently playing Pokemon Emerald Legacy, which is, as far as I'm aware, a ROM hack of Pokemon Emerald that changes something to be more how it was hoped to be, I believe. So, let us go say hello, and I shall be back tomorrow. I believe that we're going to go back to Jagged Alliance 3. However, if something shall come up, if Sleepers is too tired, or like if G just doesn't have time, we have other things to play, like this, or just something entirely different. Or I could start a single-player playthrough, or I could try to get some games emulated. There's many things we can play. Thank you very much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed my stream. I really did. I fucking love the story of Frontline. There's so much to it, and I really cannot wait until we get, like, the first inkling of GFL's incredible writing in GFL 2 as well. And there's, like, some bits and pieces there that I can see as foreshadowing that people that aren't very into the franchise yet might have missed. But there's a lot of little pieces and bops and things that, you know, if you know GFL, these things aren't random. These things are probably some kind of clue to what will happen. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. Have a good night. Bye-bye.